welcome back to the Pretty Bookish channel, where we talk all things books all the time. So today, as you can see from the description box, I want to do my mid-year freakout tag / best of 2020 so far. Please, I beg, forgive me. I know I'm very late. It is basically the end of the year. It's basically December, but I only just started the channel, so I couldn't really I can't go back in time and redo this video in June, so you guys will just be okay. So I'm gonna run you down, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 books that are my best of the year, best books that I've read this year so far. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Okay, so first up we have Archangels War by Nalini Singh. This is literally my favorite fantasy series of life. Like, this entire shelf here is all Nalini Singh. She's the only writer who has her own shelf in my entire collection of books because I stand for life. So this is book, I think 12 in the Guild Hunter series, and the thing about this book, so it's basically the culmination of like the last 11 books, like this massive war between the archangels, who are like, I think there's like 10 archangels who basically run the world. That's the basic premise. And so the thing about this book that's amazing, if you've read it or if you're not familiar with the series, is that she basically sets it up in such a way that you can see that like this is not the end. She's moving in like a direction of like at least another 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 25 books. Like, we are going to keep going. This is going to be like a JD Robb in-depth series type situation. We might be at book 45 and still moving. Like, she really wrote this book in a way that sets up the story to come, but also closes some of the chapters that needed to be closed. So I'm so happy. Raphael and Elena are everything. Their romance is everything. All the cadre are my faves, except for Michaela, obviously. But like, everything about this book, phenomenal. Loved it. Everything. Okay. Second, we've got a book that made me cry, which is the Song of Achilles. Guys, I've said this many times. Achilles is my my problematic fave of Greek mythology. Because yes, definitely murder, mass killing, rape, pillaging, the whole thing. But there's something about him that you just wanna, like, I just wanna love him. And I just want him to be loved. And like, I love that Madeline Miller did like the authentic telling of the story of Achilles and Patroclus as lovers, instead of cousins, child and nephew and best friend and everything else that's been done in all the movies and all the books. So yeah, I really like what she did with them. And you know what I wish she hadn't stuck to actual Greek mythology. I wish she'd given them a happy ending, but we all know how that story ends. But anyway, this book is phenomenally written. I am obsessed with Madeline Miller. Anything else she writes, you know, I'm a Greek mythology nerd, so anything she writes, I'm here for it. Okay, next we have The Children of Blood and Bones by Tomi Adeyemi. Bro, this book, I remember when I was reading it and I was on Instagram, I was literally that guy like, no, shit. I was like screaming and like, no girl, don't go there, don't open that door, don't cast that spell. I was doing the most. But like, book is just, it's a great sequel. It's a great book too. And the ending of this book, I literally sat there stunned for like good 10 minutes trying to figure out, is she about to? No. Is she? No. Yes. Is book 3 gonna be? No. But I think it's gonna be like, and if you read it, you know exactly what I mean. But love the series. Like, if you haven't read Children of Blood and Bones and Children of Virtue and Vengeance, please get on it because this series is amazing. Okay, so next we have guys, I literally raved about this book so much. I was literally asking people, if you haven't read this, what are you doing with your life? And that's Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. This is how you do YA as far as I'm concerned. It's got nuance and it's got complex characters and it's a multi-issue YA novel, because I hate it when YA novels do this thing where if it's a queer novel or it's a race novel or or the central theme is like being plus size, that will be the only thing they talk about. No, Full Disclosure, it's queer, it's sexuality, it's friendship, it's dealing with HIV, it's stigma, it's society, everything. I am obsessed with this book, Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. Amazing, highly recommend, 5-star read, everything. Then next, I talk about this book every time. Don't be surprised if you see, sorry, if you see Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert in every stack I do. Probably, if I can make it work, I'll put it in there. This and Patsy by Nicole Dennis Ben, I'll literally include in everything if you guys let me. But I've said this before, Redford is bae. He is literally the best, what you call, book boyfriend. I'm waiting for Take a Hint Danny Brown, because apparently that one is amazing. My copy is floating in the Pacific somewhere, so hopefully I'll get it soon. But oh, I love this book so much. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely highly recommend. Next we have All About Love by Bell Hooks. Look, Bell Hooks doesn't write bad books. She's just, like, the wisdom and the way she talks about things is just, she's amazing. And so this book is a book that basically unpacks what it means to love. And it's something that, like, she talks about even in the book, that as a society we have this aversion to talking about love, where we treat it as something like very it's like not cool to talk about love, and like love is so like dead, like and she even references, what's that Tina Turner song, like what's love got to do with it? And she says, like, literally love's got everything to do with it. And I love the way she talks about, she highlights that love and the act of loving is a verb. It's a doing word. It's not just like it's just not just a word you use. Like, love is an action. It's a constant set of choices that you make about the people that you love, in the best interest of the people that you love. So this book, I would highly recommend this book. And it's really not that long, but it's just got so much power in like the really, really short book that it is. Okay, next we have Hood Feminism by Mickey Kindell. I was gifted this copy, I think, a little bit before it came out. Everybody knows, rave about this book, highlight it, put it in your wish list, in your cart, buy it, rent it, go to the library, ask a friend, download the PDF, I don't care. This book is amazing. Mickey Kindell has this amazing frankness and clarity of mind. And the thing about this book that I love, I said this when I did my review, is that, like, I love a woman who calls a thing a thing. Like, Mickey Kindell is not afraid to call a thing a thing. And what I mean by that is, like, she goes into quite in depth about the harmfulness of, like, kind of traditional white feminism. And Mickey Kindell says white women all the time in this book. And the thing is, when I finished this book, I noticed that sometimes when we talk about race and we talk about harm being committed by certain groups, we have an aversion to saying white people, white men, white women, whiteness. We want to say society or communities or structures, and all of those things exist. Structures of power and structures of inequality and oppression are very real, but also white women need to be called out, and they are called out in this book. And I think it's one of those books where I would really, really recommend everybody read it, because she does everything in a way that is balanced and nuanced, and she doesn't fling accusations at any group without unpacking the social and the historical realities of why certain things are the way that they are. She goes into quite a lot of depth in terms of critiquing the homophobia and sexism within Black communities as well, but then she explains the roots of that. So that's what I love about her. She doesn't just say something and then just like doesn't explain why it is the way that why it is the way that it is. Okay, so Hood Feminism, absolutely highly, 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 highly recommend. Second last, we have Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. They are one of my favorite writers. I really want them to write a lot more YA, because, like, I'm obsessed with this book. Everything about this book hits from a writing perspective, from a social commentary perspective, from a readability perspective. It's perfect for young people. It's also perfect for people my age, older, everybody. And that's the thing about YA, is that it's a great avenue to learn about new things. So this is more or less a queer YA story with aspects of trans I think the main character is a trans character, and it speaks a bit about this new society that they have here that is kind of like post all the crap we're going through right now. So yeah, and this book I was actually thinking is great to teach young people. Like if you're a teacher or anything, or if you have young people in your life, it's a great book to get them to start grappling with some greater, with some more complex like social issues. So yeah, Pet, Akweki, they are phenomenal. I'm still going to read Freshwater. I know The Death of Vivek Oji just came out and I will actually read it at some point, but I need to first gear up to read Freshwater. So yeah, this book, phenomenal. Man by Anna Burns. I bought this book last year because I was in this whole weird space where I thought, oh my god, if you're going to be like a book reviewer, you have to read all the books that are on these, what do you call this, like the long lists and whatever. So I bought this book and then I tried to read like 4 pages and I was like, nah fam, it just wasn't my vibe. Then someone recommended, they were like to me, do the audiobook. So I downloaded the audiobook and oh my gosh, this book is so good. The story is hilarious. It's like reminds me of, have you seen that show on Netflix called Dairy Girls? Everything about, and the audiobook, what makes it amazing is like the narrator is Irish and I think she's Northern Irish as well, and so the accent and everything about it works. So she's telling the story and you're getting that lilting Irish thing, and it's just like, yes, I love everything about this book, but highly do recommend that you get the audiobook because there's a lot of run-on sentences, and if you're reading that like live jive with your eyes, a mess. So yeah, Milkman. So yeah, that's like the last book. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys like those recommendations. Please let me know in the comments if you've read any of them, if you liked any of them, if you hated any of them. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram on @prettybookish, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.